Good evening, everybody. We got here a 1v1 between two top level players. Let's get right into it. So in the red, we do have MbL, and he's playing as the Gurjaras, one of the newer civilizations from that expansion a few months back. And his enemy is going to be in the blue, Vivi, playing as the Teutons. This is one of Vivi's alternate accounts, also known as the Fat Dragon. He's a very well-known player for his wacky strats, and lately has been a little bit more on the economy side of things, but still capable of having very aggressive starts and very strange situations that he likes to put the other player in. And of course, MbL is definitely of the same category, and so we will see what he chooses to do. He is deciding to, of course, garrison his mill with those pigs, so that will provide a constant stream of resources. So food will always be coming in. That is always nice for him, and that will continue on for the remainder of the game. So a little bit of a bonus for this civilization. Taking a look at the maps, easy wall offs for MbL. I mean, this front, beautiful, and then into this stone. The wall off here, you can even do it so that you protect that gold to a degree. It'll just be this side that's the longer walls. He might even choose to just wall into his town center instead. And then his enemy, another fairly okay map, definitely not as good. Longer walling options, a little bit more open than what the enemy is. Backstone, a good thing should towers be moving forward. Of course, as Teutons, they do have very strong towers, so that is a possibility. But we'll have to wait till the next age to see what these players decide to go with. So pushing in deer right now, and the players are starting to scout around, try and find everything on their map, catch up all of their sheep and everything that they need. So this pig, done scouting, it's going straight in there. And as a matter of fact, I believe that pig was not in there before, so that is good that he's now found all of his pigs, and MbL is fully collecting food right now. Same time, he is scouting. He's going straight for the town center. Will there be a throw off? No. He definitely saw that the TC is right outside, so he knows that he's not going to risk that. But this camel scout saw that the scout was pushing in deer. He knows the town center is in here somewhere. Of course, Vivi choosing not to move forward at all as of yet. We'll see if he goes for a quick wall or something. He probably knows that the enemy is in the back of his base. Definitely sees him right now. But Vivi is going to play it a little bit safe, continue on with his build, and look to get up to the next age. As you can see here, Loom coming in for MbL, and he is close for food counts. He might be clicking up here pretty quick, as a matter of fact, and there he is. Going up to the feudal age already, so he's got a big advantage to the enemy, who is going a little bit slower. Vivi's going to choose to have a stronger economy by the time he makes it up, but he's going to have a very, very good income with food. He's still got 5 untouched pigs, and he's still collecting from the boar. That last deer did now finish off. So Vivi playing pretty open, but will be clicking up to the next age, just with a little bit of a delay. And the scouting has started for Vivi. He obviously will see that house. He knows the enemy is going to be behind it somewhere with that house wall, and he sees that the enemy is scouting him as well. As barracks are being dropped, that is a big, big lead for MbL to get up to the next age. But when we take a look at population, that's 17 villagers to 19. And so that can be a very, very big factor later in the game. Both players do have loom, and so their villagers will be protected a little bit better. And both players will have a barracks shortly. And MbL hits first, immediately drops a stable, and so he will be going for forward aggression as soon as possible. The Teutons, of course, will see what sort of response they have. And 2 villagers now building the barracks for Vivi, and we'll see what he chooses to do. Of course, Teutons likely going to be archers, or sorry, scouts, likely not going to be archers. Teutons well known for having good infantry, good cavalry, and archers not really a strong suit when it comes to the Teuton tech tree. And already, right off the bat, we do see that there will be some sort of aggression, but what that actually amounts to is still to be determined. There are spears out in response for Vivi. He's waiting. He knows that there's going to be a scout rush coming his way at any given moment. The first scout is already out on the field, but the walls will be completed in time. That means that Vivi will be safe, and he does have spearmen as well, just as that little bit of extra protection. And even deciding to wall all the way around here, wanting to add as many walls as possible. This scout will get a couple of shots, but has to run away. Still within range of the town center, but that gave enough time for Vivi to fully wall behind. Spearman is now out, and the walls are really starting to come in towards the town center as the scout cavalry is out in defense, but bit of an advantage when it comes to military, just because of the fact that MbL was up that little bit earlier. Both players now fairly close when it comes to economy. Vivi with a slight lead, but that just might be due to the fact that his town center was working at a little bit of a more efficient clip. And bad engagement there for Vivi. MbL is going to be very happy to see that, as he does have the advantage right off the bat, and he's going to get caught out. One scout is down, so he is already behind by quite a bit, as the scouts are going to run to the safety of the spearmen, and there's nothing really that MbL can do to get in close, as Vivi starts to collect up gold, and he's got a pretty good economy with 11 farms, as well as some villagers on berries, and MbL 13 in response. So building up that food economy, both of them will have that one eye on scout production, and then the other eye is going to be looking at the next age as they continue to grow. But one big advantage is this trickle of food that is continuously showing up for MbL. He does have that extra bonus with the mill, so that is a big deal. The scouts try to get some sort of an engagement, tried to break through but unable to do so, and Vivi will be sitting pretty safe at home. 13 farms now for him, as well as Wheelbarrow is coming in for Vivi. So MbL wanting a response, just gets this wall up in time. So good move there from MbL. Very close. If these two scouts get to the back of his base, that changes everything. But now, since they were unable to make it through, won't be able to do too much. So Archer's switch is coming in for the Gurjara player. Of course, when you are playing as the Teutons, as mentioned earlier, the archers are not quite as strong, and it's never the option that you often want to go down, but it is a possibility. So double archery range for the Gurjara player in MbL, and both players looking to save up to the next age. Food-wise, MbL a little bit closer, so he might be the next one up, and he does have both of his buildings as well, so he should be good. Both of the players do have their required buildings. And he clicks to the castle age. Vivi not yet up and still needs a little bit more food, about 100 food remaining. But with these spearmen and these scouts, Vivi's going to try and get some sort of an engagement, some sort of damage. He has to do it quick because these spears are going to become useless once the archers are out. And archery range is coming up in defense for Vivi now. Might see some skirmishers. He did scout out the 2 archery ranges of the enemy, and so you can see that he's going to have to play some sort of counter, as these spearmen are going to die very quickly to the archers. Just 3 archers is enough to take out those 3 spearmen without any question about it. Both players are on the way up. Fletching is already on the way in for MbL, and Vivi deciding to go with a more economic approach. So we'll see what he does when he does go up to the next stage. He's got enough wood to really drop another town center. He could protect his base a little bit better. I mean, a town center up here, and he could really protect this northern side of his base, as his entire army is being wiped up. Only 3 skirmishers out right now on top of this 1 scout cavalry. So really going to need to be aggressive. And MbL is now in the castle age, immediately drops a town center on this gold. This is a great spot for a town center. So he does have that wood, and he does have that gold. Bug Civ is the response that Vivi sends, obviously not liking how quickly the enemy was able to go up to the next stage. And the skirmishers, they're great against the archers, not that great against scouts though. So skirmishers do jump out. They will get a couple of free shots on the archers, but the archers do move around enough. And yes, this town center in a safe place, but that's where it has to be at this point in time for Vivi. Don't like this villager going around to the other side, but Vivi sees that and fixes it very quickly, as Elite Skirmisher is still on the way in. Being just a little bit slower to the next stage means that you get the upgrade slower as well, and this town center, while it will go up, is getting delayed. So very good for MbL. His town center is already up, and he's building his 3rd, but I'm not going to look away right now, because this is where the action is. The walls are getting dropped behind the gate. Good play by Vivi to get those houses down in enough time. The spearmen won't be able to do too much, but the town center is up. And so this part of Vivi's economy is safe, and then he's going to try to protect the southwest next. And so these elite skirmishers, while they are elite skirmishers, they can't go too far out. They can easily engage against those crossbows. But now we have Shrivasham, I always screwed up, Shrivamsha riders, and those are actually anti-archer. So we'll see what the response is going to be from Vivi now that he's competing against these extremely fast Shrivamsha riders who can just engage immediately, and MbL dropping a siege workshop. This is going to be a tough hole for Vivi to dig himself out of, and he is already falling behind. And so loses that skirmisher. These are just such fast units. They are really such a difficult unit to engage against, especially when there's crossbows on the field. It's very tough to know what to go for, but the monks, getting a couple conversions would be a really big deal for Vivi, but we'll see if he's able to actually get any now that the mangonel is coming out. Mangonel positioned right here with crossbows behind it. It will be very difficult for these skirmishers, even with the monk support, to move forward, as Vivi has switched to his other gold. He is collecting it. He's also got 1 villager on stone, so he might be trying to collect up something as he drops his 2nd monastery. One thing to note, MbL is collecting up stone with quite a few villagers, so we might see a castle drop, and that would really solidify the end of the game for both of these players, as that is a very big shot, and these skirmishers will run back and get healed by the monks. As what do we see here? Sanctity is coming in, so these monks, you know, getting these upgrades will allow them to actually defend properly against the enemy and against the army that is attacking them. So Vivi with his back against the wall right now. MbL has played this so well. This is such a strong civilization, and Their bonuses have really been figured out. For the first few weeks, it was tough to determine. Redemption now coming in. It's tough to determine how to work with that food bonus in the Dark Age, and it looks like the players have really figured it out now. MbL, of course, being one of the top players in the world and able to maneuver around the differences with that economy. But this is a big army out front now, as the monks do have the appropriate upgrades, but can they get any conversions? It'll be hard to say. They do have to jump back and forth into the town center, but really hard engagement for both of these players. Neither one wants to lose anything, but right now we have the Shrivamsha Riders. They are in and they are taking out, and the castle is being dropped. I don't think Vivi can come back from this. This is it. This castle goes up, and that is all he can do. So he's going all in with his skirmishers, trying to take out what he can, but this might be it. The GG should be called shortly, and if it isn't, it's because it's Vivi, and he is more than willing to waste the enemy's time. When it comes to the actual vill counts, there is a 3 villager lead for Vivi still, so he's maintained his economic lead, but he's had so much downtime and so much idle time in this town center that it really negates any advantage that he might have. As the castle will go up, there's nothing that Vivi can really do in response other than try to build a castle of his own in defense, but he's a long ways away from that with only 200 stone in the bank, now up to 300. Still not enough as this town center goes down, and the castle fires already starting to hit. Town center is forward. That's town center number 4, but now only 3 for Vivi, as MbL at home has been safely collecting using 4 town centers this whole time. So he is at a big advantage, and Vivi has to pull something very incredible out in order for him to gain any sort of advantage. This monastery will be dropping, and this is just a perfectly played example from MbL. So we're just kind of waiting for the holdout, and the Mangonel gets shot. That was a good play. You know, 1-for-1 Mangonel from a conversion, always what you want to see, and that's really the ideal situation as town center number 5. Not necessary for MbL at this point, as he can just close off and win, but Vivi choosing to go forward and drop a castle. Vivi, of course, didn't know that there were crossbows coming across, and that castle can't go up forward. So Vivi was wanting to go for an all-in strategy, unable to at this point in time, being attacked now from both sides as he drops a castle in a very safe situation. But 19 villagers are building that castle, so that's not what he wants to be doing with his villager advantage at all. Castle will go up, so it will protect, and it won't be long until MbL has trebuchets then attacking the castle itself, as MbL is only 2 minutes away from going up to the next stage, and so he will have about 1 minute and 10 seconds of time before the enemy is up. But the enemy now wants to go forward. Vivi is moving forward with his villagers. He's got skirmishers already getting attacked by this castle, and so his villagers are having to decide a new location for that castle, and he's going to put it just out of range. So it is within sight of MbL, and Vivi thinks that he has the time advantage, and he thinks that he can get ahead. But already we see the Shrivamsha Riders coming in and attacking, trying to kill villagers where possible. We've got the unique unit, the Chakram Throwers, so that's great to see. That's something I did really like about this new expansion, is the new units and the new ways of playing with these civilizations. As Vivi is going to go for guard towers in defense. You know, Teutons do have strong towers, but against The trebuchets, there's nothing really that they can do, as a trebuchet will definitely be coming out of this castle, and then likely one out of this castle as well. So the buildings of Vivi will be falling. We even have a armored elephant, so the equivalent of a battering ram, moving forward. That'll attack the castle at the base, and the trebuchet will be able to attack from above. So Vivi just holding out right now, and both of these players good enough to hold out against most people, but Vivi wanting to get a little bit more of an attack, tries to get some sort of an advantage just anywhere. So these 4 skirmishers are causing a lot of delays, causing the economy of the enemy to fall apart. But this castle on the front is being taken out by 2 different trebuchets, and that castle will fall, as there will be more trebuchets on the way soon. Now, the entire economy of Vivi is pushed into this small area, and it will start to fall apart, as he does have 1 trebuchet that he's going to attack the enemy castle with, and so he might get a little bit of damage, but I doubt he'll even be able to take that out, as the army of MbL is able to walk right into the village and attack that trebuchet. Castle of Vivi is going to fall now on the front. We have 3 trebuchets trebbing it down, only 1 in defense, and even with those repairs, it will fall. And this trebuchet from Vivi will fall as well. Of course, moving forward with a mangonel is MbL, and he will try to take out the trebuchet of Vivi that is attacking his castle. You might want to repair that as well, just to be safe. Vivi wanting to engage as much as possible, but the riders come in from behind. And the castle is being repaired. Only 1 trebuchet right now, so nothing too bad that can be done. And that's that. Vivi does call the GG. So overall, great game, and great example of MbL's strength and his ability to adapt to this newer civilization.